Welcome to another Tempo Storm Meta Snapshot. The Hearthstone meta continues to shift and evolve every day, with the game moving toward the annual rotation. On top of this, the newest mini set is set to release in just a few days, and it will surely shake up the game. We wanted to push out one more Meta Snapshot breakdown before the set comes out to help you all prepare your ranks for the new cards. Before we take a look at the first tier in our Meta Snapshot, please be sure to subscribe to our channel to be kept up to date with all of our Hearthstone content. So leading off tier 1 this time around is Hand Warlock. Following what felt like an infinite amount of nerfs, this archetype is still kicking and kicking hard. Handlock thrives by taking advantage of weaker, less established archetypes, using the quest to guarantee inevitability, and deploying large threats such as flesh giants to pressure out their opponent when possible. Thanks to cards such as Raise Dead, both of these game plans can be executed simultaneously, presenting a truly problematic situation for a lot of decks. Beast Druid, for example, folds to your easily accessible removal for their cards. However, Poison Rogue can overpower you with a large weapon and burn, while ignoring your threats thanks to Cloak of Shadows. The next deck we'll look at in tier 1 is Buff Paladin, an archetype that came out of nowhere. The deck aims to use cheap minions and buff spells to develop a large board, and whenever you run out of fuel, Varian will be there to help you gas up, and when you do stick a threat, Battleground Blade Master lets you close out the game. Decks like Weapon Rogue and Ramp Druid can't deal with you, as they have a rough time dealing with the out-of-the-gate aggression. But any deck that is faster than you or can lock out your board, such as Aggro Druid or OTK Shaman, tend to be problematic. The last deck that snuck its way into tier 1 this time is Burn Shaman. This archetype has been making a name for itself over the last couple of weeks, and it continues to be a force to be reckoned with. As the name suggests, this deck aims to continually chuck burn at your opponent, closing the game out with spell damage cards like Novice Zapper and burn effects from cards like Lightning Bolt. You'll have a great time against decks like Beast and Aggro Druid, as you can clear their boards relatively easily. Conversely, your bad matchups come from decks that can prevent you from killing them, with both Poison Rogue and Control Warrior stymieing your game plan. Tier 2 features many more decks than its tier 1 counterpart, and even if they're slightly less consistent, all of these decks are competitive and can get you to Legend, so try them out if they fit your playstyle. Though before we dive into the top decks in the second tier, we'd like to remind you to read our full report over at tempostorm.com for a more in-depth analysis. Leading off tier 2 is another deck that came back from the dead, Shadow Priest. The speed at which the deck can enter the game makes it a favorable matchup against even some of the fastest decks, allowing it to use its hero power to control the board. Face Hunter and Poison Rogue have a rough time competing with the Priest's aggression. On the other side of the coin, decks with access to a lot of removal and healing, such as Fell Demon Hunter, prove to be difficult for all aggro Priest players. The second deck in tier 2 is Quest Shaman, which is another previously nerfed deck. The value one can gain from finishing the quest early is unmatched, leaving Quest Shaman to be one of the premier decks for Thrall and friends at the moment. Like many other quest decks, the game plan is straightforward: stall the game out while finishing quests, then kill your opponent using the reward. This archetype has a great matchup spread, but its best matches are from board-centric archetypes such as Librarium Paladin. They can't break your stall or stop you from finishing your quest. But this version of Shaman has a hard time against hyper-aggressive decks such as Poison Rogue and Hand Warlock, as they are quite literally you, but better. The last deck that we're taking a look at in today's Meta Snapshot is the previously mentioned Librarium Paladin. This archetype is known for its constant pressure, as it can make a threat nearly every turn thanks to the endless wave of Librams. Without a silence effect or something similar, it's pretty hard for many decks to prevent the onslaught of buffs. Therefore, Librarium Paladin does best against decks that struggle to keep up with your mid-range threats, such as the likes of Ramp Druid. However, if a deck can point-blank remove your minions like Quest Shaman can, things will be rough. And that wraps up our Meta Snapshot. The Hearthstone meta continues to witness evolution all the way up to the release of the mini set, and we're eager to see what the new cards bring for the game. If you're interested in learning more about the Hearthstone meta and its development, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be kept up to date with all of our Hearthstone content. We'll see you next time.